Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I was gifted a code to the new Lovestruck EP so that I could spread the word and have a look at the pack and give my honest review. I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can and I'm going to give you a quick summary. Did it completely change the way that I play the game? Absolutely not. Did it integrate well with our existing gameplay and with existing systems in the game? I think so, yes. And, I played without mods. I have to say, I think it is a very seamless process. It seems to work really well. I didn't experience any big glitches. I know that there are some bugs, but they did not come up in my playthrough, and I played many hours of the Lovestruck EP, and I actually quite enjoyed getting back to my vanilla game, as I call it. And really I started out as a no custom content player, and then I started making CC for The Sims 4, and I became more and more interested in mods. So I did start modding my game a little bit. I tend to have very few mods in, and I try to be very selective about what I choose for mods and just what I can handle, so don't overload your system with mods that you're not able to maintain because you've overdone it, if that makes sense. So be a bit more choosy is my advice to everyone who feel frustrated with the game not working properly. So let me take you through a little bit what this adds. I felt a little frustrated in my initial playthrough. I felt that we had a little bit of a recycling of animations because new animations was supposedly one of those big things that this was, the Lovestruck EP was adding a bunch of new animations, but we did get some recycled ones. For example, whispering about desires is really just, I don't even remember. There is a seductive whisper we had in the past, and we still have that. I felt a little frustrated that sometimes, when you're cuddling on the bed or you're cuddling on the bench, that there's not that nice transition with the animations. I felt that the nice transitions between animations and interactions was missing a little bit. For example, Sims can feed each other chocolate and share food, which is a very cute little animation and a cute little interaction between the Sims. Sometimes they stand, sometimes they sit. My Sims were sitting down, and, I was expecting, because they can feed each other chocolate while they're sitting down, that there would be a seamless process, but instead they got up and then proceeded to feed each other chocolates or sweets or whatever from the box standing. And I think that's something that was missed. I feel like that could have been so much better in terms of we're sitting down, we're looking at the clouds, or we're stargazing, we have these beautiful social interactions. Just stay seated and eat the chocolates together while you're already seated. So that sort of thing, we're already cuddling and kissing on the blanket, and now we have to get up to ask each other to woohoo instead of there being the seamless transition between animations, which I think would have been a lot more fun. Considering the price we're paying for EPs, I actually felt that we were adding very few new animations because it was hyped so much that we were getting new animations. This was why, the price for the new EP was justified. I have to say, though, I think some of them are locked behind the romance skill. So as you progress in the romance skill, you can then kiss someone's neck tenderly. That interaction is not available usually. And then, of course, there's a bunch of things that didn't come, new interactions that didn't come with new animations, asking people about the relationship and their attraction level and all these things. So if we click on our Sims profile, we can see a bunch of new things about Sims and their interactions and feelings and attraction to each other and all these things. I'm not someone that used to click a lot on the Sims profiles, but I've learned a lot from other players, and I think people feel a little bit more immersed by being able to read about how the Sims feel about each other and think about each other. And this feature about The Sims 4, checking their profiles and getting more information about their relationships, I think is a really nice feature now, and I use it a whole lot more. So if you're already using this feature, I think you might like that we now have all this information about how Sims think about each other romantically and sexually. As I said in the beginning of this video, it didn't really change the way that I play The Sims 4 or approach The Sims 4 necessarily, but it did reignite, a little bit of a love for the game, and I ended up playing a lot. I was imagining this life that this sim was building in this penthouse apartment in this new city that's based on Mexico City, and I quite enjoyed that sort of contemporary penthouse lifestyle that I was building for my sim. So I did end up playing the game a lot more than I have been playing it recently. And it did, in the end, make me really excited for how I was going to present this to players of the fantasy save file. Because ultimately, that's usually what I'm worried about, is how do I integrate this with the fantasy gameplay for the fantasy save file, which is my little baby. If you don't know about it, if you're here for the first time, I essentially didn't want occults, vampires showing up in my suburban neighborhood while I was playing and so on. But I really did want to play with those aspects because I love fantasy and science fiction. What I ended up doing was I ended up building a save file that's specifically about witches and wizards and fairies and all these things. So do check it out if you're interested. I'm going to make a big update for the new world in the fantasy save file and show you how we're going to integrate this in, the existing save file that we already have. But yeah, so that's my honest review of the new Lovestruck EP. I don't think there's a problem with the quality necessarily. I just think it's a little boring, to be honest, for the price we're paying. I didn't feel that it really enhanced my gameplay that much, but it integrated really well and it got me excited for the game again on the other hand. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed my honest review of this pack, and let me know what you thought, or if you think you're going to be buying it. If you do end up buying it, what you thought of the pack. I would love to hear from you. We'll see you soon.